Well, hello everybody, and happy birthday to me. I am 38 years old today. And this last year, it's been different than any year I've ever had before. I guess I'll start at the beginning. Last year, in September, the woman that I loved, the woman I expected to spend the rest of my life with, just up and left me one day. Came out of nowhere and ended a 6, almost 7 year relationship. I had grown very attached to her, of course, to her nieces, and they all meant the world to me. And it sent me into a spiraling depression. I really lost my will to live, my purpose. I had none of that. I just kept going on because I just went day by day. I looked for something to do each day and just tried to get through it. Well, I'm a person of habit, and that shows through this entire story. I get into routines and I like to stay in them, and that can be detrimental or it can be positive. Well, my routine, as it turned out, to help me struggle through this was twofold. One was that I fell back to my oldest addiction to get through it. I ate. I ate a lot. It was nothing for me to go and smash an entire Little Caesars pizza or go get a 4-meat McDonald's with 2 large fries and a large drink and just smash all that. And it showed. I started around 412 pounds, which I was obviously already not eating right, not eating well. And then it just spiraled. And between the end of September and December, I swole up to 443 pounds. And my mental state never got any better. I was lacking one thing in my life: purpose, focus. I had no discipline. I was just living off my emotions and my routine. Which brings me to the second part of it, my routine. Every day, I would wake up about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. I would eat, play video games, whatever to try to get my mind off of it. And then about 4 o'clock, I would go into work. I'm a delivery driver. And at the time, I was working for either Favor or Uber Eats or DoorDash. It just depended at the time. And I would go and I would work until about 11:30 every night. And part of that was my YouTube schedule, because I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in years. I rarely watch movies. And 6 days a week, starting at 8:30 Central, would either be this guy Camelot 331 or his roommate Tiny One Badger, and they alternated nights every night except for Friday. And honestly, Fridays were hard on me because I had to break my routine. And I would watch them every night while I was at work. And it was just one of those things that if I stuck to my routine, I knew what I was doing the next day. I knew what I did the day before. And it just helped me cope. Well, eventually, my birthday came around. You know, today, but a year ago. And my mother, bless her heart, handed me her debit card because she hadn't been able to get out and get me anything. She handed me her debit card and told me to go buy myself a couple of new pair of jeans. Which is awesome because, contrary to being a kid, I love getting clothes now. Because I wear them out. So I went to the only local place that carried jeans in my size, Atwood's, and went in and I grabbed a pair of 58s because that's what I wore, 5830s. Which, for people not aware, means a 58-inch waistline. And I also, just for giggles, grabbed a pair of 60s because in my mind, I would never wear that. I'd always thought people that got that big were just, I don't know, wrong. And I went to the dressing room and tried them on. Tried on the 58s. They were skin tight. Like, I could barely sit down in them. Which obviously the ones that I already had stretched, so I didn't notice it. And I sat there and realized I needed to wear the 60s. I had become one of those people. And it broke something in my mind. I stood there for a while and just tried to process it. And I decided at that point that it wasn't worth it. I'd had a doctor's appointment the week before and had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. My blood sugar was out of control. She wanted me on a somewhat experimental drug called Ribulsus. And she stressed that I needed to lose weight, but it went in one ear and out the other. And that and the weight and the jean size just clicked. And I realized I was that person. And I realized that I didn't want to keep living. I couldn't. There was no way for me to keep living like this. And I stood there in that dressing room and decided to take my own life that night. My dad had passed away a couple of years previous, and that already had me down. And then losing the woman I'd planned to call my wife, that I already thought of as my wife, and also her nieces had me down. And then this, I saw my health as being gone as well. My body, it was just time to end it. I had no purpose, no goals, and I had nothing left. I knew it would hurt those left that I love. My mother, my stepmother, my grandmother, my aunts, uncles, and cousins. But at the time, when you're in that state of mind, you don't care. You know it, but it doesn't register. There's a reason it's called a mental illness. And I walked out of that dressing room, paid for my jeans, and went out to the car and just sat there for a while. I thought about everything, and I still stuck with the same conclusion. For some reason, I wanted to do it at night. Don't know why. My mind wasn't in a good place. So I fell back into my routine because it's just what I do whenever I'm not right in the head. I went home, got dressed, went to work. Camelot came on. And I mean, I had been there, for a few months, but hadn't really said much. And I just kind of let it out in his live stream. I'm like, man, I can't keep living like this. My weight, the diabetes. And this guy, which at the time, there were several hundred people in this live stream, all talking amongst each other, talking to him, and he stopped and specifically talked to me, which really blew my mind, because it's like these people have like star status. It's weird. But he talked to me. And he said, man, I can tell you how to fix the weight and hopefully the diabetes and all that. You're not going to like it, but I can tell you how to fix it. And I didn't really want to die. I felt like I needed to. So I listened to him. And he told me about a diet. It's something apparently bodybuilders do. They call it cutting. Where he said, look, every meal, just eat grilled chicken. No carbs, no pastas, no breads, no potatoes, nothing like that. Just chicken, just meat. He said, if you do that, and you can't have a cheat meal. If you have a cheat meal, all the progress will go away. You won't get anywhere. But if you do this, you'll see pounds fly off. And I grabbed onto that. Because I had nothing left to live for. I had nothing to lose. Had absolutely nowhere to go. So I grabbed onto this lifeline this person had offered me. And I stuck with it. And he didn't lie. I had watched other channels and other videos on this similar diet. And it turned out to be something called the carnivore diet. It's a version of keto, where you eat nothing but products from animals. So meat, cheese, eggs, milk, but no vegetables, no breads, nothing made from vegetables, so obviously no carbs, no pastas, no candy, no sugar. And I stuck with it. And sure enough, it worked. I dropped 10 pounds in the first week or so. Or at least that's what it felt like. Come around March, I hear about this group meetup. A bunch of YouTubers getting together, and anybody could come, down in Orlando, Florida. Well, two of them were the aforementioned Camelot and Tiny Badger. And I said, well, hell, I'm going to go meet these people, because they've changed my life. which I mentioned Tiny Badger, she is more on the mental side. Watching her and talking to her made me realize that having a mental problem, a disease as it would be put, was okay. Everybody has something. And it was okay to acknowledge that I wasn't unique or malfunctioning or anything like that. It was just part of who I was. So between that and the diet, actually having friends, because I didn't have any, it put me in a lot better mental state. Of course, the doctors had me on new meds and that helped, but obviously, as had been shown before, I was on meds before and that wasn't enough. So I went to this meetup, and at the time I had lost a lot of weight. I was down to 375 from 443. It was incredible. And I couldn't really see the difference in myself other than the fact that my pant size kept dropping. I was down to like 54s. 56s were loose on me. 54s were fitting pretty well. So that's 6 inches off my waist already. I go to this meetup, and it's awesome to meet these people and realize, that they're just people too. And that kind of gave me the focus, the direction that I wanted. And I decided I wanted to start trying to have a presence on YouTube myself. I haven't strived very hard for it, but I wanted to try it. And I started doing my own live streams, just playing video games, talking to people. It was cool being part of this community. I kept sticking to my diet, kept sticking to my routine. Go to work about 4, work until Cody or Hannah were done streaming. And I still do that to this day. Well, fast forward to November. I had, of course, been flying drones. It's something I've enjoyed doing. And I don't know, I'd tinkered with it, done a little bit of it. And it was good. But found out in October, Cody, Camelot, was like, man, we're having this race. He's going to be racing his stock car. And you ought to come. You could do like drone footage of it and stuff. And the idea intrigued me. It really just took off in my head. So I saved my money, loaded my stuff, and drove to North Carolina. And got to spend 2 days with some of the greatest people I know, having so much fun, and also doing something that I really enjoyed. I had been filming this, and it just looked so cool, and it helped me realize the thing that I've been missing, finally. And that was expressing myself, expressing my view of the world. And I've since kind of taken off with it. And now I'm getting video and pictures from the sky and sharing those with people, and it's that final click that I needed. And here I am today. I'm a totally different person. I've got a purpose now, a drive, a focus. I've got friends that I value dearly. I've still got my weight loss ongoing. I've lost 107 pounds so far in the last year, which is a bit short of where I wanted it to be, but still acceptable. 107 pounds. And it means the world to me. This birthday is different than any other because I've got everything that I need without getting a present. It's just taken me a year to get them. So this time a year ago, I decided to end it all. This time this year, I've got my whole life in front of me. I've got goals, projects, and things just running through my head that I've never dreamed of a year ago. And I encourage you, if you think it's bad now, which I know being near Christmas, it's always bad, it can get better. I'm not going to promise you that it will. But if you find your people, your tribe, and you focus on yourself, it can definitely get better. This was me a year ago. Standing in that dressing room, I took a picture of myself as a plan to show people why I was ending it all. This is me now. In the same dressing room, I made it a point to go there. You can do it. You have it in you to make it. So I pray to you. If you need someone to talk to, feel free to reach out to me. If I can help one person the way these people have helped me, then it's all worth it. So, I guess that's it. That's the story of my last year. And I may make another one of these on my birthday next year to document how far I've come since. But I will ask, if you like this, if it helps you, please share it. So maybe it'll help someone else. And by all means, I'll link these friends that I've found down in the description. Go follow them because they're good people. They're the definition of good people. And I wouldn't be here today without them. I can't thank them enough. And yeah, I guess that's it. I'll catch y'all on the next one.